Inscriptions on the wall, the second story. The sixth story. A poet saw a band of thieves and wrote a poem about them. The head of the thieves got angry and ordered his men to strip the poet of his clothes and leave him in the desert. The poet was walking in the desert naked on the cold day. Some dogs living in the desert followed the poet. The poet wanted to chase the dogs away. So he tried to pick up a stone he saw on the ground, but the stone was stuck hard in the ground. The poet got angry and screamed, "No! What on earth is the matter with this land? Dogs are let loose to follow people around, while stones are fastened so hard to the ground that no one can pick them up and throw." At the time, the head of the thieves was home. He heard what the poet screamed and laughed. He told his men to bring the poet to his house. "What is it that you want? What do you want to have?" The poet answered, "I like to get my clothes back." The head of the thieves gave the poet clothes, money, hide, and expensive cloth. The poet put on his clothes and said, "I don't want you to do good things. Don't do anything good, and don't do anything bad either." The seventh story. Some thieves were living in a mountain. The thieves kept tormenting the villagers, but no one was able to catch them. The villagers thought long and hard about how to catch the thieves. The villagers decided to wait for the right time to catch them. One night, while the thieves were out stealing, some of the poor villagers who were good fighters sneaked into the mountain and waited for the thieves to come back. After a while, the thieves came back so tired and fell asleep right away. Then the villagers came out of hiding and tied the hands and feet of the sleeping thieves and took them to the palace. The king ordered the thieves to be killed. There was one child among the thieves. The king's vassal felt sorry for the child thief and asked the king to forgive the child. The king said, "It's not a good idea to punish the grown-up thieves and keep the young one alive." The vassal said, "Your Highness is right. However, if we teach the child well, then he won't grow up to be a bad person." Other people agreed with the vassal. They all asked the king to forgive the child thief. The king finally agreed. "I will forgive the child thief. However, I still don't believe it's the right thing to do." 2 years passed. The vassal got the child the greatest teachers to teach him good arts, including martial art. The child, however, hung around with bad friends behind the back of the vassal and his teachers. Then he plotted and killed the vassal and his 2 sons and ran away to join a band of thieves. When the king heard of it, he was so surprised and bit his finger in regret. Wolf cubs grow up to be wolves even if they are raised by humans. The eighth story. A king had many sons. One of them was short and ugly, while the others were tall and handsome. The king didn't treat the short and ugly prince well. The prince always said to the king, "Father, short and smart people are greater than tall and stupid people because being tall doesn't mean being great." Some months later, the king's enemy attacked the king's city. The king's army and the enemy army stood in line face to face. At the front of the king's army was the short and ugly prince. The king's army was smaller in number than the enemy army. The king's soldiers wanted to run away, but the ugly prince encouraged them to stay. "We can do it. We are strong. We can win." Finally, the king's army won. The king embraced the ugly prince, kissing and thanking him. Then the king promised the prince that he would be the next king of the land. The other princes got jealous of the ugly prince. They tried to kill the ugly prince by putting poison in his meal. The ugly prince's elder sister saw it and told him about it. The ugly prince said, "Artists do not die, and those who are ignorant of art can never take the artist's place." The king heard of the murder plot and scolded the other princes and sent them out to other cities where they could become great men too. The king did so because he wanted the princes to love one another. 10 poor people can sleep on one piece of rug, but 2 kings cannot live together in one city. The 9th story. A king inherited treasure from his father. So the king gave a lot of money, gold, and silver to his vassals. The king was happy. A stupid person working in the palace told the king, "The old king had to work hard to get the treasure, so he didn't give it away to anyone and saved it for a rainy day. Your Highness, please do not give away your treasure. There can be enemy attacks and hard times in the future. So, Your Highness should be prepared against those sudden difficulties." The king frowned and said, "I am the king of this land, so I am supposed to feed and provide for my people well. I am not the keeper of treasure. Even the rich people will die in the end. What stays alive is the names of the great people and their great deeds."